Hello, MAB snakes. This is Mental Math. Mr. T, you recognize where I am probably. I'm in the quiet room at our MAB school. Problem is, it's way too quiet in here, as you can hear. Don't hear the hustle and bustle of all you guys who would normally be here in the classroom. And I miss that dearly. And we hope to see you back here just as soon as everybody can. But let's go for today. This will be our last Mental Math Snakes session of the school year 2019-20. It's been a good year. I hope you've enjoyed our virtual math lessons. I'm confident that if you've worked hard, you've built your brain stronger, and particularly the math side of your brain. And we'll finish up with some long division today. I want to do it differently, though. The terminology I'm going to use now is it's the same process of long division, but it's a different way to think of it. It's the way you're going to see as you go further on into elementary school. We call it in Montessori, we call it group division. What you've been doing before was distributive division, and that's what we would have started on with the racks and tubes had we been here. We've taken a dividend and we've distributed it to the divisor, the number of recipients, if you will, of the dividend that we gave away. So let's do this first problem that I have in the distributed division mode. I'll use that terminology. Speedy Smith read a book with 360 pages in 4 hours. He read the same number of pages in each hour. Remember, division's always got to be fair. It's got to be equally distributed. So if he read the same number of pages in each hour, how many pages did he read in 1 hour? Again, 360 is the dividend. That's the number of pages that Speedy read. And we want to distribute them over the 4 hours that Speedy took to read them. So once we distribute that dividend to those 4 hours, we'll know what each one of those hours got. And that's the quotient. That's the answer. So this is dynamic. We tried to distribute 300s to 4 pages. Couldn't do it. One of the pages would get nothing. So since we couldn't distribute the 100 place, we moved on to the tens place. Now we have 36 tens to distribute to the 4 pages. And again, you have to know your multiplication facts to do long division. If you don't have them mastered, you need to get out your finger chart. But I know that 36 can be distributed to 4, then each of the 4 gets 9, because 9 times 4 is 36, isn't it? So I've distributed 36 tens of the 360 pages I had. So I've distributed 36, so I've got 0 left. Well, I got to bring down that place value, even though it's a 0. I've got to distribute the entire dividend, okay? And it turns out that what I did in distributing 36 tens is actually, do I have anything left to distribute to the 4? No. So my quotient up here is 0. So in distributing the 36 tens, I was really distributing the whole 360 to the 4 hours, and Speedy was reading 90 pages an hour. So that's distributive long division. Let me change it, and there was a 0 in the dividend there. It made it a little more complicated. All right. So now I'm going to try, and again, if we do this with the racks and tubes, it's probably a lot clearer, but I'm going to do my best to give it to you abstract with just a whiteboard. All right. The art teacher bought 2,568 crayons. They can be put into boxes with 8 crayons in each box. So how many boxes will our teacher have? All right, so we have our dividend is 2,568 2,568 crayons. And we're going to put them in 8 boxes. Now, in group division, the terminology we use is this. We reverse the process. This is the divisor. I want to know how many groups of 8 there are in this dividend. How many groups of 8? That'll tell me if I divide the 2,568 crayons into 8 boxes, how much one box will get. How many groups of 8? So how many groups of 8 are there in 2 units in thousands? None. How many groups of 8 are there in 2,500s? Again, I know my mental math. I know my math facts. I know that 8 times 3 is 24. So there are 3 groups of 8 in 25, and I'll take away those 24 because I've already put them in the boxes, the crayons in the boxes. And I have 110 left. So I'll bring down my 6 10s. How many groups of 8 are there in 16 10s? You know the math. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 8 is 16. So those 16 are gone. Put those crayons, 16 10 crayons in the boxes. But I still have 8 crayons left. And those 8 crayons, I like to draw these arrows so I remember exactly the place value. Those 8 crayons still have to, we still have to put them in boxes. So now I need to know how many groups of 8 there are in 8 units. 1. 8 times 1 is 8. So each of the 8 boxes, if I have 2,568 crayons, each one of the 8 boxes is going to have 321 crayons in it. It's group division. You need to think abstractly how many groups of the divisor there are in the dividend. And then take away each time when you do each one of those partial quotients, and you will eventually find the quotient, which is the answer to your problem. Let's try another group division. I'll do 2 more for you, since this is our last day. See what we have here. It's interesting. Lake Placid, Florida, the Kalindian capital of the world, has 203,475 Kalindian bulbs to put into net bags with 5 bulbs in each bag. How many bags are needed? Well, it turns out that caladiums are flowers and they grow with bulbs like tulips. All right, so Lake Placid, Florida, where they grow a lot of these flowers. It's the Kalindian capital of the world, and this current crop is 203,475 Kalindians. And they're going to put those into bags, net bags, to sell them. And there are going to be 5 bulbs in each bag. How many bags are they going to produce this year? Whoa. Mr. T is bitten off a big one to chew here. Go with me on it, okay? 203,475. This is going to be a tricky one. And we want our divisor is 5 of those bulbs is going to go in each bag, in each net bag. Man. Well, it's group division. So we need to think, using our math facts of multiplication, estimating, how many groups of 5 there are in that dividend. Well, how many groups of 5 are there in the 2 in the 100,000 place? None. But how many groups of 5 are there in the 20 in the 10,000 place? Well, we know there's 4, aren't there? 4 times 5 is 20. So I've gotten rid of and put 40,000. I've taken care of 40,000 of those bulbs that'll go in the 5 bags. Bring down my 3 in the units and thousands place. How many groups of 5 are there in 3? You got to record the quotient. There's 0. Couldn't find any groups of 5 in 3. Okay. So I just go right over and I bring down my 4 in the 100 place. So how many groups of 5 are there in 3,400? 3,400 bulbs? Well, I know that 5 times 5 is 25. More than that. More groups of 5 in 34 than just 5. 6 times 5 would be 30. So I'm really close. 5 taken 7 times would be 35. That would be too much. I don't have 35. So I've gone too far in estimating how many groups of 5 there are in 34. The answer is there's 6. 6 times 5 is 30. And again, remove these bulbs because I've already put them in net bags. And I have 4 400s left. This is serious long division. Bring down my 7 10s. How many groups of 5 are there in 47? 5 times 8 is 40, but there's still another 5 group in there. 5 times 9 is 45. 5 times 10 would be 50, but I couldn't put 10 up there anyway because that'd be a 2-place number in the 10 place. Couldn't do that. So I know that 5 times 9 is 45. Those are gone into the net bag, so I have 2 10s left. 2 10s left, and I bring all the way down. I finally got to the units, and guess what? I've still got 25 bulbs to put in the bags. All right? So now I say, how many groups of 5 are there in 25? Well, I know that math. 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And you know what? I have evenly put 203,475 bulbs into net bags, and I'm going to need 40,695 net bags. So this is the whole crop of the Caladium flowers from Florida in a year. Have a look carefully at this long division problem. This is group division. We'll do one more. The school has 400, and you see, these are all very practical kinds of problems that people need to figure out every day in running their businesses, running their schools. Here's one. The school has 497 students. These students are divided into 7 teams to do some recycling. How many students do you put on each team? It's a question we teachers have to figure out all the time, right? You might have to figure it out. How many kids are out signed up for soccer? How many kids can you put on every team? Well, you have to take the total, which is the dividend, and divide it and find out how many groups you have in the dividend. So let's do that. 497 kids. And we're going to divide them into 7 teams. So we need to know how many 7 teams there are in 497, so we'll know how many kids to put on each team. So how many groups of 7 are there in 400? Can't do that. You don't need to put a 0 up there in the quotient because that would be the 0 leading the number. Zeros are place value holders only when they come after a positive number. But I got 49 tens. And how many groups of 7 are there in 49 tens? Well, I know my math facts. 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Ooh, that's cool. Comes out exactly even. Take those away. I've given up 400. I've figured out where to put 49 tens of the kids that I have into these 7 recycling groups, but I still have 7 left. So I'll bring that down, 7 units. And those 7 guys, I'm going to put 1 of them in each group. There it is. And that's going to take care of the final 7. If I take 497 kids to put them in 7 groups, each group is going to get 71 kids. So this is group long division. It's how you're going to do all of your long division now into the future. The divisor gives you the quantity of the group you're looking for. The dividend is the number that you need to put in those groups. And your quotient tells you how many will be in each group. Well, guys, this is Mr. T signing off from our wonderful school here. And looking forward to welcoming you guys who are coming back to us, back to math class next year, or this year in the fall. And for those of you who are going on to other schools, wish you well, wish you the best of everything and success, and remind you that you now have a really good math brain, but you can't let it sit. You can't let it atrophy. You can't let it go to waste. You got to continue to use it and build that math brain stronger and stronger, because as we saw yesterday in that fabulous rocket launch, I hope you saw it, SpaceX going up, the scientists and the engineers who built that rocket and flew that rocket so successfully, they all are mathematicians. You gotta know math if you want to work in science and technology. So with that, Mr. T is going to sign off and wish you guys the best of luck, good fortune, and like the astronauts, Godspeed. Mr. T out.